Welcome to United Minds Collective Podcast. This is United Minds Studio, and this is where our minds are always better together. I'm Pamela Watkins, and here we explore how we grow, thrive, and elevate as individuals and as a community. Let's dive in. Today, we're diving into a topic that has literally changed my entire reality: manifestation, alignment, and the science behind why this actually works. Before we even get into the tips, tricks, and science, let me tell you the moment my life shifted. People always ask, Pam, what's the first thing you manifested that made you believe? But honestly, it wasn't one thing. It was alignment, it was energy, it was frequency. There was a season where I wasn't even trying to manifest anything. I was just learning myself. I learned about chakras. I started meditating heavy. When I tell you, meditation opened up a door, okay? I started getting thoughts that weren't just thoughts, though. They didn't feel like thoughts, they felt like guidance. I'd meditate, get this deep feeling that I could eat better or cut out certain things. And every time I followed that, my whole life elevated. Then came the dreams. I would dream about something positive happening. And then, literally, the next day or two, boom, exactly what I saw in my dream happened in real life. One of the biggest moments for me was when I was put off duty for work for 5 months. Most people would have panicked, but something in me said, this is alignment. This is happening for you. I got a lawyer, the case got dismissed, and my job ended up having to pay me 5 months of back pay, including summer, and I wasn't even there. Tell me that's not alignment. Then, when I got back to work, the full-time wave came back around again. They tried to take my weekends from me, and that didn't sit right with my spirit. But all in all, I didn't know if I had the seniority in the building and would actually be able to fight for my weekends back. So I set the intention and I just let it go. Then I had a dream that my supervisor told me I actually did have seniority. Next day, same thing happened in real life. That's when I knew manifestation wasn't just cute quotes. It's energy, it's alignment, it's belief plus letting go. See, people think manifestation is magic, but it's literally backed by neuroscience and psychology. There's something in your brain called the Reticular Activating System, aka RAS. It filters what you notice and what you don't. When you set an intention, especially with emotion, your RAS looks for anything that aligns with that intention. That's why, once I decided I would get those days off, my brain locked onto the opportunities, the timing, and the alignment. Another thing, your thoughts create feelings. Feelings create frequency, and frequency shapes your behavior and the risk you do or don't take. And that shapes your reality. This is backed by cognitive behavioral science, emotional regulation science, and neuroscience. Let's talk about negative manifestations too. Because listen, manifestation isn't only positive. When your energy drops, you can attract contrast, which is completely normal for growth. I've had moments where one tiny thing throws me off, and suddenly the whole day feels like it's unraveling. And what I learned is it's never life coming for me. It's just my energy signaling that it's time to ground myself again. But contrast is not bad. Contrast shows you what you do want. Now, I want to get into the things that actually shift my reality fast. The habits that change my energy, my mindset, and the way I manifest. I'm not going to list them like one, two, three. I just want to talk to y'all because manifestation is personal for me. One of the biggest things that worked for me is acting as if, not pretending, not forcing anything, but truly embodying the version of myself that already has what I want. When I act as if, I feel the gratitude and the peace as if it's already mine. And here's the science behind it. When your brain feels something emotional, it cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality, meaning your nervous system responds as if manifestation is already done. And that sends out a completely different frequency. Scripting is another big one for me. Whenever I write like it already happened. And somehow through my writing, my body starts to feel it. Scripting forces me into alignment because it makes me visualize and my emotions start flowing. Also, I love vision boards. Your brain is wired to recognize images. It's how your your reticular activating system, filters reality. So when I'm constantly seeing images of my life I'm creating, my brain naturally starts filtering out anything that doesn't match that vision and pulling in the things that actually do. But honestly, the biggest reason I manifest fast is because I don't chase anything. I don't cling, I don't obsess over how or when. I decide and I release. That's my secret weapon. I set the intention and then I let the universe handle the delivery. Another major shift for me was releasing my scarcity mindset around money. I had to really sit with myself and admit that my fear around money wasn't even mine. It was something I grew up around. Once I realized I've always been provided for, that I've always found a way, and that abundance has naturally followed me, my whole life shifted. That fear started to fade. And the crazy part, when the fear faded, abundance increased. The quickest way I raise my vibration, literally instantly, is through my nervous system. I breathe, I take one deep breath, and I tell myself, everything works in my favor. And it's like my whole body resets. My shoulders drop, my mind unclenches. There's actual science behind that. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which moves you out of your stress mode and back to alignment. And sometimes something as simple as smiling shifts everything for me. Even when I don't feel like it, the physical act releases dopamine. The chemical release raises your vibration fast. All of these little habits, breathing, smiling, choosing better thoughts, they create momentum. Manifestation isn't about forcing anything. It's about getting your mind, your emotions, and your energy aligned just enough so the universe meets you there. People ask me how I manifest so quickly, but for me, it's less about speed and more about alignment. My manifestations come fast because my nervous system doesn't fight my desires. I decide something, my body relaxes into that, and that calm, grounded belief sends a completely different signal to the universe. Most people delay their manifestations because their mind is saying yes, but their energy is saying, I'm scared. How is this going to happen? When is it going to happen? Their desire doesn't feel safe. My power comes from the fact that I let my desires feel safe in my body without worrying about the who, what, where, when, or why. I don't interrogate my blessings, I simply align with them. Manifestation isn't magic, it's alignment. It's the science of your thoughts shaping your feelings shaping your reality, and your frequency shaping your reality. So, every intention you set, every belief you release, every time you choose to feel good on purpose, you're signaling the universe about what you're ready to receive. Your frequency determines your reality. Before we wrap, if you're looking for extra support on your journey, please be sure to check out my behavior support toolkit. It's right here on the table, filled with resources designed to help you stay grounded, intentional, and connected. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning into the United Minds Collective podcast. Remember, this is where our minds are always better together. I'm Pamela Watkins, and I cannot wait to continue growing with you.